was saying Steph is the best player in the league. Nobody was giving Steph the MVP. He won that on his own. Antonio Wilborn says Lonzo hired someone else to be manager, I thought. And you could be right, but I do think his dad's going to be very active in conversations. I guarantee you when it comes to him signing a contract or a shoe deal or whatever, he's going to be sitting right there next to Lonzo. I guarantee it. And if he's hired somebody else, more power to him. But we'll see. Also, Aton says point guard Jordan Clarkson, shooting guard Brandon Ingram, small forward Julius Randle, power forward Zubac, and then center Nance. Lonzo coming off the bench. Where's D'Angelo Hall? I guess D'Angelo Hall's coming off the bench too then. Yeah, and Vince, thank you for jumping. Phil Jackson does need to retire. You know, you got Porzingis skipping meetings. You got the whole issue with Derrick Rose. I know that fiasco's over now because he's not coming back. But Phil is not a good fit. Phil is not a GM. He's a great coach. Has done great things as a coach. But he is not a GM. He's just not. All right, so any minute now we'll have Tyler Esparza-Powell calling in on the line. But there's a lot of players going pro. This week, though, in particular, you had Dylan Brooks, you had Justin Jackson, Tar Heel Nation. Any Tar Heel fans in the building, stand up. He won the ACC Player of the Year. Also, the Tar Heels won the championship, if you guys forgot about that. You got Zach Collins, who's going to be coming out of Gonzaga. And those could be three pretty good players. Zach Collins was hurting us, was hurting North Carolina down low in that game. So I think he's gonna be a top, probably maybe a top 15 pick. So watch out for him. Definitely watch out for Zach Collins. All right, we got Tyler Esparza-Powell on the line, man. How's it going? Great to have you.
Doing pretty good, man. It's good to be back on the show finally.
Definitely, man. Long time. I gotta do better at that. Gotta rotate. All right, man. So you already know what the conversation's gonna be about. You are the biggest, I think, Romo fan that I know, and that's not an understatement. You have Tony Romo in your Twitter name. So since the last time, a lot of stuff has happened since the last time I had you on. Tony Romo retires, in air quotes, is going to be going to CBS, but he has not filed for retirement. Also, the Mavs thing. So, just give me your thoughts on all of this that's going on.
Well, I want to piss off some of the people who are in your chat room. I got a chance to read some of the comments over the last 20 minutes. So apparently, a lot of people who don't understand football, but that's another thing to get into. But anyways. I can't, I'm like Dez, I just can't believe it until I see it official. I just find it hard pressed to believe that, a guy could end his career the way he has. I mean, playing in 5 games in the last 2 seasons, the salty taste in his mouth, losing the starting job to a rookie quarterback was tough. I get it if it's real, for his family, spend time, and he's had a tough go at things. But a competitor like that, I'm not entirely sold. But I mean, if it is done, it was a hell of a career, and I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way everything is panned out, and I said this. And if I had the audio, I would pull it back up and play it. But he went into the free agent market, and nobody was calling. A lot of people said, we're going to make a move if he gets released, but nobody said they were going to trade for him. And I think what ended up happening basically is that he went to the open market. Nobody decided to sign him. Jerry was very instrumental in this. Jerry is involved in everything. If you do not ever underestimate Jerry Jones. all of these teams moving, he had a say-so in it. But I digress. Back to Tony Romo. He comes out and says, hey, Tony Romo's available. He's doing workouts. And the way everybody responded, I think that killed Tony Romo's heart right there. I think that killed his drive, and he stepped back. He got a great deal with CBS. He doesn't have to go out on the field. He doesn't have a potential of getting hurt, which I think would happen if he goes back. But he's going to have a cushy job, and I think he moved on from it. All right, man. We got people coming back at you in the chat room. We got Chief Rocket says, no, you don't understand football, rookies. Been around football for 56 years. Here we go.
Oh my goodness. Been around football for 56 years, but I mean, look at the defense that this guy has had the last decade. And this is going to be the same reason that Dak Prescott will never win a Super Bowl if he doesn't, because of the defense. I mean, it was already so horrendous. You see how the GOAT in the game, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I'm not talking championships. I'm talking football talent, because that's how I distinguish who I think the best quarterback. And I know when my team is playing Aaron Rodgers, there's no one I fear more. But you saw what that man did to us. I mean, he does that to everyone. I'm not saying that. But if you want a potential to win, you see how Atlanta just crushes them. And I mean, I don't understand what these people want, Ben. If you don't have a defense, you're not going to win. That's the way it goes. 13-3 season, bounced in the technically first round, consider after the bye, but in the first game, bounced at home after all the talk, all the hype, bounced. And it wasn't because of the offense. Yes, they started slow, but the defense just couldn't make a move. And now you lose veterans on the defense. You don't improve it at all. Ben, what do the fans think is going to happen when you don't improve the defense?
Yeah, and Chief said Chief Rocker is from Jersey. He's a Giants fan, and he hates everything Cowboys. But this is the other comment. Look at the offense that the Giants had in the Eli era.
Okay.
Stop Greenhorn. I don't know what stop
Greenhorn means. And if I remember right, I think they won both Super Bowls by a score of like 17-14 and 21-17. Along those lines, the Cowboys don't have that type of defense. If we had that type of defense, we wouldn't have lost games to the Broncos 51-48. We wouldn't have lost games 31-28. I mean, he's being biased by using that on the Giants. I mean, yeah, okay, look at the offense. But I mean, look at the offense that we've had. I mean, yes, it's been a pretty good offense for the last couple years or so, but it hasn't always been like that. I know you say T.O., wind and whatnot, but the offensive line was not a workhorse like it has been. It's not always been like that. So I just don't think I think people judge because of what they hear on TV, 2-4 in the playoffs. I don't think people are making their own opinions on this. I think they're just thinking along the lines, Dallas Cowboy quarterback, where's the star? He gets the blame or he gets the love. But they just don't take any seconds to reflect on an undrafted free agent. I mean, the story is just incredible. I can't believe people think this guy is overrated. I think he is the most underrated player to ever play. And that might be me speaking as a fan and a younger fan at that, the only guy I've ever known. But I mean, all I know is, man, an undrafted free agent in the NFL, there's so many players on a roster, man, and there's so many cuts. It's not like you really got to work your ass off, and especially to be on the Dallas Cowboys. All-time leader in passer rating, fourth quarter comebacks, touchdown yards. What else do you want? I mean, if that doesn't definitively answer that it was on the defense, well, I don't know what to say.
And I'm going to agree with you on the defensive part. And anybody that's watched the Cowboys game in the past, since Roy Williams left the team, and I'm actually going to say a year before he left the team, Cowboys haven't had a good defense. Because you look at the points that they continue to give up, not having a good defensive line, not having a secondary, a lot of it has been on Tony Romo. Not even having a great offensive line besides the last 4 years since they drafted Tyron Smith, and it's been a while. So if you look at all of those years without having a defense, Tony Romo's made plenty of mistakes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of course,
he's not perfect.
Course. And I'm not going to sit here and say he's the greatest of all time or anything like that. I'm just saying I think a couple bad moments have really defined it, and I really blame the Des Bryant catch, man. I mean, if that goes Dallas's way, I think they would have won the game. And honestly, I really do think they would have went on to win the Super Bowl, just because that team just had something special. I don't know if it's just me. The Road Warriors not losing, they would have taken down a Packers team that was undefeated at home. I think they would have gone into Seattle, ran the ball, beat them just like they did, dominated time of possession. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough. And then you look at the bobbled snap. That's that is what it is. A couple bad moments really defined it. It's sad. It really is. But I think that's what really changed it. I think that would have been a Super Bowl right there. I really do.
And I said this on Monday on the weekend wrap-up. He is the leading, or he has the most passing yards and most touchdowns in Cowboys history, which means that's better than the great Aikman. That's better than Staubach. That's better than Danny White. You can go down the list. So
it's by far too. Yeah. It's like a good 100 touchdown or so lead, maybe like 80, a little less than 100, but it's incredible. It really is.
All right. So now, what did you think though about this? The Mavs tribute. You think it was a little bit over the top, or were you happy to see?
I mean, you know what? If you're gonna do it, put them in the game. Take the NBA fine, man. Make the referees carry him off the court. Why all the hoopla but not put him in the game, man? I want to see him hit a three. If you're gonna do something, at least do it. Go the whole distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to just see him sitting on the bench. Like, what is that? You announce his name and then, hey, if you're gonna do something like that, put him in the team pick. Go all the way. Get him in the NBA history books. I mean, who cares what fine comes your way? Cuban, you got the money. The season was a disaster. It was a great marketing ploy by the Mavs and Cuban. I mean, it was cool. I just think they should have finished the job. Why not? You already had it all orchestrated.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, too. Like, if you wanted to shout him out at a game, have him sit next to Cuban and say, hey, Tony Romo's in the building. Last game of the season. We couldn't let the season go on. Congratulations. Thank you for everything you've done. That's it. Why have the dude sitting in warm-ups? That was over the top. And and it was like, and he like kind of went like he was going to get in the game. And then Cuban had to pull him back. And it's like, come on. I mean, if you want to recognize the guy, I'm all good with that. But putting them in a warm-up suit and all that kind of stuff, that's almost like having my daughter who's a Dallas Wings fan, having her dress up and sit next on the bench. Like, she's not gonna get in the game. That was just like a complete to me, I think a complete joke. And honestly, let's talk about the truth. The Mavs needed to sell this last game tickets because they did not play that well this year. They had injuries, yada yada yada. So they were trying to sell tickets. Let's all be honest.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It was a great marketing plan, like I said, and it definitely did the job selling tickets. I don't know. It's just sad that it seemed like it was just for that purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, but it was still more than the Cowboys, I think, did. But it's just, if you're gonna do all that over the top crap, finish it off, give the fans what they paid for. Who cares if we can see him on the bench visibly? We want to see him in the game. If you're gonna do anything, and I know there's the argument that like, oh, what about all the people who've been working for it and whatnot? I mean, it's one possession. Everyone knows it's a joke. It was just, if you're gonna do something, do it. Finish it off. Just putting him in the warm up, that just looks stupid. I agree with you completely on that.
Yeah. All right. So let's switch over to our Rangers, who is off to a little bit of a rocky start. And I'll say this: if the Rangers want to do something, don't dress them up in the jerseys like it's Halloween. Just you could sit them next to JD or whoever and say Tony Romo's at the game and be done and over with. But with the Rangers kind of with the slow start, I'm a little I'm nervous about the pitching.